Welcome to the channel. Thanks for being here. I'm Nero. 10 games test. Exile. Let's take a quick look at the deck. The main Exile deck, the core of it is essentially the same. There are some flex slots here and there that people will change. We're not going to go into all the possibilities. We'll just take a look at what I was running in the 10 games test. When we look at the archetype, yes, it's an aggro deck, but it's really kind of like a burn deck. When you play the deck, you are almost always attacking face, and you have some burn spells at the end to close the game out. There are some defensive tools against the odds. When a unit attacks, pin it. Unexpected resistance. When a unit moves to the front line, if it has blitz, destroy it. Raid for some tempo. Maybe a temporary credit denial type situation. But what you're looking to do is you're going to mulligan the hand aggressively. You're playing on curve as best you can. We'll take a look at some of the other cards in the deck. Fifth Parachute. It's just another one drop aggressive, 0 op cost. The one drop you really want is PZL P.11 because that's going to reduce the amount of credits for the other Exile units you want to play. Lysander's an Exile unit, maybe get some damage in, some ping damage off the card. Battle MK 1 PL. It's going to go boost the other Exile units. It provides +1/+1 if they have Exile. Enemy contact, some more control features. Some don't run enemy contact. I do. MS 406, kind of the heart and soul, so to speak. You really want this in the opening hand. We'll get into optimal hand in just a minute. We won't spend a ton of time on the deck. We're just going through it, and then we'll look at some gameplay. Convoy to draw some cards. Hurricane, it's going to pump the Exile units. So you have PZL P.11 reducing the Exile cost. Lysander getting in ping damage, but it's not really what I want in my opening hand. Battle MK 1 PL, boosting the power and toughness of other Exile units, specifically MS 406. Then you've got Hurricane, which is also boosting it. Hopefully MS 406. You can do some things with Devil's Brigade, especially if it's in the front line and you hit a hammer home on it and get a little out of hand. Yak 9 PL, Exile Blitz. Hammer home to make larger units. Daring Strike is a burn spell, just a one of. You can use it to target a unit if necessary, but again, I try to throw everything face if possible. 3 Sea Patrols, it's a burn spell, 3 damage. It's reduced cost based on each friendly air unit that you have, so typically you're playing it for free. And 1 Sincerely Yours to draw some cards and gain some life. Optimal hand, and I would mulligan for this a lot. PZL P.11, MS 406. Play this in order. PZL P.11, MS 406, which you're going to play for 2 credits instead of 3. It's a 3/3 when it comes in. Hurricane on 3, which you're going to play for 2 credits because the PCL is reducing the credit cost. You're going to buff the MS 406. Now it's a 4/4. Hammer home, which takes the MS 406, that's a 4/4, and now makes it a 6/6. No operation cost, and you're just slinging damage to the face. Where the deck will shine, in my experience against Germany, USA mid-range, any deck that's slow to get to your support line is going to struggle. This is very opening hand dependent, right? You don't want to play a control game. There's not a lot of tools that are going on. You've got some tools to work with, but not a ton. It's really opening hand dependent. If you get the right draw, it's extremely difficult to beat. Decks that can get to your support line quickly will give a little bit of a struggle. But the main thing is PZL P.11 into a discounted MS 406, pumping it or buffing it with Hurricane, making a larger copy with Hammer Home, and you're just swinging for face, and maybe you close it out with a burn spell. That is what the deck is designed to do. It's fun to play. It's very fast. Most games, turn 6, turn 7. You know the game is going to go south really on your opening hand. You'll just have some hands that you're just not going to be able to do anything with. You can get into a lot more detail about it, but I'm not going to. We'll just get into some gameplay. Thank you for being here. Stay safe and be well. Let's get into some action. Playing Britain, so the assumption is going to be probably Britain US ramp. Could be other things, could be an Exile mirror, can be some other stuff, but we'll put the probability on that. There is a 26% chance that we have PZL P.11 in the opening hand based on a hypergeometric distribution calculator, and we have it, so that's awesome. But what I want to do is I don't want to drag this game on with Britain. So if someone wants to keep raid or ultra, that's fine. I don't. I'm just trying to curve out with my fighters and attack face, and we have a critical card. Battle is fine, especially on the draw, but really I want to go PZL into MS, but let's see what we get. We didn't get it. Getting the para, that's fine when you don't have the PZL. If you have a 26% chance of PZL, it's not a lot. You're not going to see it necessarily opening hand all the time. And para is there for that other one drop. But I don't want to draw into para. I just want to curve out. So we don't have really the fighters that we want. We don't have the Hurricane or the MS or the Hammer Home. So hopefully we can improve upon it. But it is against Britain, a little slower. The Yak I want later, but I don't mind seeing it now. There's just other things I'd like to see. Cut comms. So we lead with what gives us cheaper units. The PZL is not an Exile, so you can't play Hurricane on it. I really want the Hurricane on the MS, but I'm playing this now. We got a buff off the bomber, Hurricane to pump this, but we know that we have to set up. Odds are they're going to drop Glamour Boys or Gucci Boys, as we call them, on 5. So we need a 6 power unit before 5 if possible. Get some ping damage here. Let's get rid of the honey. Typically we attack face, but we need to put an end to that. And we also need to clear room on the back line. Not most games you're not moving a fighter or a bomber to the front, but you have to clear some room in the back line in case you get another Hurricane. If you get a Hammer Home that you need to play on curve, I need room. Hammer Home is a wonderful draw. Some people might play it here to buff this, but we're going to play it on the Hurricane. Again, we want to get a 6 power unit in the back, predicting that this is probably going to be Glamour Boys on 5, and I need a fighter to... I need a unit with 6 power to deal with it. So we'll get some damage on Bryansk now. Thinking that we're going to lose a unit to Bryansk, probably the fighter. As always, they always have it. This is a phenomenal draw, Sea Patrol. It's 3 damage, so we can take the Bryansk out for no credits with Sea Patrol. Attack Glamour Boys with the fighter. And try to get the rest in. This is shaping up well. That's a lot of damage on board. Carpet Bomb on 7 would clear most, but we're just going to try to get everything in there before that. He doesn't have till turn 9. But he's digging for answers. But we still need to apply pressure, and that's the thing, right? Like, we could say, well, let's draw for now, but what are we digging for? If we're playing Convoy now, we need to know specifically what answers we're looking for. But we have a decent board, right? We have 6 plus 8, 14, 16. So it's this clock and the next. Glamour Boys on the next turn might slow it down a little bit. Carpet Bombing certainly would slow it down. But you'll see the line here in a second. I don't want to play Yak now. Could, but no point in it. Just taking a look around, thinking the line out. Let's get the damage in. Going face. You could convoy now, right? But he still has to deal with the board. Even if he plays carpet bombing on 7, we're still dealing 5, and we have a yak for that turn. But I'm thinking this through, and I don't think I'm thinking it through correctly. Obviously, if I had mapped all of this out, I would have convoyed first. You always want to draw first because information is leverage, right? The more information you have before you make decisions. But I wasn't sure if I was going to use it this turn. But I should have thought about all of that before doing anything. Yeah, you're going to need more than that. It's not going to help you. We're good. And it took me a second. This is when you play and you're doing math. It's just basic addition, right? Lethal's on board, but you can see me got almost double and triple checking if that's the case. So I think I have it, then I stop. I'm adding it up. Like, you can't do basic math, right? Let's check what's in the hand in case something goes wrong. I don't want the opponent to think I'm slow rolling them. I'm not. It's just that we have lethal. We can get this done. And it's all over. Thank you for being here. Stay safe and be well.